All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. All right, double honors to the apostles, elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, coming back at you with another lesson. All right, and didn't quite have a topic, or a title for it. It's like I got a topic, but I don't have a title. But this is dealing with, us receiving this truth despite the opposition. All right. And there's nothing they can do about it. All right. And we're talking about from the elites all the way to the lowest of the low. All right. Because these people come in the spirit of Satan. They're adversaries to all that is good. And even though, our plight here in America has been the worst, as the scripture said, the bread of adversity and the water of affliction. We have gone through much, much tribulation here in America. All right. Which is great. Or Babylon the Great, according to the scripture. All right. We still have had, the spirit, invigorate us with this word. All right. And they're mad as hell, and, as the scriptures say, we going to do what we do. They're going to do what they do, from the Christians, well, from the elites all the way down to, these phony Christians, these phony Israelites, and everybody that comes against this truth. They can't do nothing about it. Why? Because this this truth is unstoppable. All right. It's the Lord's judgment. All right. It's of the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And we're winning at the end of the day. All right. So this is Matthew 16 and 18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. Right. So he built the church, uh, starting with Peter, the apostle Peter. All right. Okay. Who was the head of the church. All right. Okay. And so when you deal with the ancient times, where the apostles were sent out, all right, after the ascension of Yahweh Shai, even then they couldn't stop the truth. Although, the apostles, they went through persecution, which they had to go through those things. It was set up for them to go through that, as, the scripture goes into how, you can't, in order to serve the Lord, you got to go through, the same thing that he went through. All right. That's where you get the term eat of his flesh and drink of his blood. All right. It's dealing with you having to go through that. So the apostles did. Right. And that didn't stop the ministry. All right. We know the last known believer. All right. Of that time. Not that he was the last known. All right. But John the Revelator. All right. Okay. And he was able to essentially get the visions and write them down. All right. For our consumption. All right. And now we have that truth. All right. We have that truth. And, and which proves that, look, this thing is unstoppable. We are able to decipher and understand the mysteries. Okay. So what it started with, the of course, Yahushua's disciples, and more keenly, more when you point to his ascension and the apostles, meaning to be sent forth. All right. This thing was, an unstoppable force. All right. And now we are the regeneration. We're essentially in the regeneration. All right. Which is us coming back in the flesh. All right. And the spirit being endowed and put on us to teach the same message and bring the tidings of the kingdom. All right. And to seal the elect, the believers. Okay. And this is leading all the way up into the resurrection. All right. Of the dead and the return, or at the return of Yahweh Shai, I should say. Okay. So this thing is heavy, and Esau can't stop it, won't stop it. Right. Even though they would like to. Okay. So it says, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. All right. Who the gates of hell? All right. Of course, Esau, Edom, the elite. Okay. They can't stop this truth. All right. And that's the Lord's doing, right? Because Acts says, here in Acts, all right, it says 5 and let's see here, 30. I think it's 38. All right, this is Acts chapter 5. All right, in 38 it says, and now I say unto you, all right, refrain from these men and let them alone. All right, let them alone, leave them alone. Why? Okay, and these are other Israelites. All right, we had to combat other Israelites. All right, who really they were what do you call anti-Hamashiach? All right, as the world calls it, anti-Christ. All right. Okay, but it started at the disbelief and the incredulity started among our people. All right. And then as we at the end of the uttermost parts of the world, we go out into the world, we teach, we prophesy, and then you got the rest of these anti-Hamashiach. All right. Anti, as the world would put it, anti-Christ. All right. Starting with the very top, starting with the very elite. And you got to consider the energy and the effort and the resources, the money that the amount of energy that goes into trying to hide the truth, trying to suppress the truth, and they couldn't. All right. So this thing is a very serious thing, a very beautiful thing. All right. And that they can't stop this thing. All right. They come up with their the same old questions, the Gentiles. All right. They're trying to find a way to put themselves in salvation. And as you can see, they're changing up the doctrine. Their doctrine don't line up with the scriptures at Isaiah 8 and 20. If they speak not according to this gospel, is because there's no light in them. All right. And we're dealing with the darkness of the world, and we're the light that's shining in this world. All right. Because what? They won't prevail. The gates of hell won't prevail. All right. And that's starting with the elite, the super elite Edomites. All right. Who's trying to steal back that birthright. All right. So moving on, it says, for if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. All right. And you would think, right. Well, I'll say it like this. If this thing wasn't the truth, they'll leave us alone. They would leave us alone. Right out. They wouldn't even bother us. All right. Yeah, they scoffing. They calling us fools. They laughing at the fact that we believe in the chariots of the Most High. They laugh at the fact that we believe the Most High, that we are the spawn of, the seed of Israel, that we're close relations to Yahushua Mashiach himself. All of those things are scoff. The very fact that we believe we're Israelites is a thing of them scoffing at us. All right. OK, but if it be of God, you cannot overthrow it. Let's happily. Right. Let's happily. OK. Let's happily. Salakia. Ye be found even to fight against God. And that's why we call these people Satan. Right? They come in the power. They're adversaries. All these fucking people, starting with the elite all the way down. All right. So moving on. All right. Here. I like this one because really I'm kind of going in the spirit. But this is Psalms 50. All right. And I think 21. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to go up a few verses. Psalm 50 and 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. All right. And that's Esau. That's the wicked. Okay. All right. They're all about lies. They're all about evil. Let me read this. Let me go ahead and get this in. This is a Blue Letter Bible. All right. And let me No, Psalms 50. All right, Psalms 50. Psalms 50 and 21, and I want to read, 17, I want to read in the NLT. It says, "For you refuse my, no, oh, thank you. Slacking. Psalms 50 and 19, and it reads, it says, your mouth is filled with wickedness, and your tongue is full of lies. All right. You sit around and slander your brother, your own mother's son. That's Esau. Okay. That's Edomites. All right. It says, while you did all this, I remained silent, and you thought I didn't care. But now I will rebuke you. All right, listing all my charges against you. All right. So I like the KJV's version better. Okay. All right. And it says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silent. And I kept silent. It says, thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. All right. And now, what is he setting in order before their eyes? Okay. Ultimately, the charges, right? So, and those charges is coming by way of who? The witnesses. You Jakes, you brothers. All right. You Jakes. Salaki. You know, the Lord's elect. All right. And so those charges is being set in front of them by who? Us, the witnesses. All right. This thing is inescapable. And the Lord is raising us up. Raising us up. All right. Okay. As it says again, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. All right. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself. And that's what Esau thinks. He thinks because the Lord ain't done nothing. And you know what Ecclesiastes 8 and 11 goes into, because since the sentence against the evil work is not done, what is it? Judgment don't come speedily, roughly paraphrasing. All right. The hearts of men, let me get slack. Like I said, there was a few precepts, so it ain't that long. All right. 8 and 11. Because this is Esau, and this is how they've been moving. Because they ain't been getting, and nothing really reproached them except for us. All right. But they can disregard what we say. They can overlook us. They can persecute us, whatever they want. But there's going to come a time where they're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to be able to run from judgment, which that's the point of all of this. They're not going to run from, they can't run. All right. Because despite what they've done and the efforts that they've pushed, the truth still remains. That's how you know this thing is spiritual. It's beyond the physical realm. All right. Okay. So, and the Lord's working, right? Because this devil is doing a lot of hurtful shit, a lot of hurtful things. Excuse my French. All right. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. All right. And this is the MO with Esau. Nobody's stopping them. All right. They're going to keep doing it because what? Nobody's able to rise up against them. Well, the Lord made it so, because it says, who can make war against the beast? All right. Who can make war against this man's system? Nobody can. That's why the Lord, when he comes, he's going to have to totally eradicate it by way of fire. All right. And by way of his chariots. All right. And those laser beams. All right. That's the inside. But back in Psalms 50 and 21, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. All right. Okay. And that's what's happening. So towards this devil. Okay. And so they're going to have to deal with that. All right. So next, Isaiah 32. And I got this from brother earlier. 32 and 3. All right. Because the Lord raising us up, this is a miracle in itself. Okay. This is a miracle. And let me get this on cue right here. Because what we're doing, yeah, is foolishness to the with the world. But guess what? This is the strength of the Heavenly Father, as the scriptures say. This is his power. All right. Let's see here. 1 Corinthians 1:18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness. Right. But unto us which are saved, it is the power of the Most High. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Right. And so this is pretty much a basic understanding what's happening. We understand what's happening through the Spirit. These people might not understand, but the Lord is what? He's pulling down the strongholds. All right. And he's using the lowliest of the low to do it. And this is how the Lord works. All right. It says, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? And he has. Look at these people and how they're ruling society. And they think that they're on, they're on a level or cloud nine, or, that they're the best of the best. And really, they're destroying themselves. And you look at these people in their ways and them fighting for their way of living and their standard. All right. They are destroying themselves. Period. All right. It says, for after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God, the Most High, by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. And the foolishness of preaching, that's us out there on the highways and byways. 1 Corinthians, 9:4? For he set the apostles last. All right. Okay. Because the apostles had to be persecuted, put to death. All right. And much so in this regeneration, we're going to be persecuted, but some of us aren't going to die. Right. Some of us are going to be beheaded. That's prophecy. OK. It says, and I'm going to give 1 Corinthians 9:4, because this thing is this is a thing for everybody to see. Right. And people are just bypassing it. They got contempt for it. They're taking it very lightly. And that's the trick. See, so we're in a great position. All right. It says, for after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. That's all that matters. We don't care if an idiot leaves and say, it makes a video. Oh, I once was a camp leader. I'm a white boy and I once was a camp leader of a black cult. Or why I left the Hebrew Israelites. The fact that you're leaving is all the convincing I need. All right. And it's a scary thing. It's a very, very scary thing to see these individuals have the Spirit at one point, because a lot of them really didn't have the Spirit on them. They knew that they was an Israelite, but even Israelites don't even have the Spirit on them, man. And there's a very fine few who the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with, man. OK. So but when you see these individuals fall out, that's a scary thing, man. And who am I convincing? That and brothers know, man, that's a scary fucking thing, man. To have a spirit on you and for you to be kicked out, or no, for you to fall out. Because most individuals, if they get kicked out, it's because of themselves. All right. And we can go into that, but we're going to continue moving on. All right. All right. So Verse 27, we're going to jump. It says, but the Most High hath chosen the foolish things of the world. And this is foolish. When they look at us, they see nothing. They think we're nothing but fools wearing long. But guess what? We are a witness against you people, right? We judge all things. All right. We're spiritual men and we judge all things. Okay. All right. So it says, it says, but the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. You see? So the church has been going on for hundreds of years, and they've been calling on Jesus and all of that other stuff. What has it done for them? Absolutely nothing. They have raped, robbed, and destroyed to get an establishment in this Western civilization. Now they account for a massive amount of people in the world. But we know that the world to come is for few, as the scriptures say. Only a few are going to be saved. Okay. So it says, and base things of the world and things which are despised. We're despised. All right. You look at these people, especially Esau, the way they look at us, we are very despised, man. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man. All right. And we ain't even talking about the woman and the children. We're talking about the man. We are the most despised thing on this planet. OK. And because what as it goes back to Psalms 50, they speak against their brethren. They only seek to cast down us from our excellency from who we truly are. To them, we're just thugs, we're niggers, we're imbeciles, ingrates. All right. The list goes on. All right. So it says and base things of the world and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen. Yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. All right. That no flesh should glory in his presence. And that's how the Lord got it. And none of us going to be able to glory. He's going to be able to glory because ultimately he's the one that's pulling the strings. All right. Let me get that 9 and 4 because I did mention it. 1 Corinthians 9 and 4. I have. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Or is it 2 Corinthians? Or am I tripping all together? Let me see. Let's see. Because I know I'm not tripping. Nope, I am. It's 1 Corinthians. It's been a while since I brought this out. Yep. 1 Corinthians 4 and 9. So I was tripping. It says, for I think that the Most High hath set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death. All right. So he set the apostles last. All right. What? To ultimately to suffer persecution, because that was the requirement. OK. For we are made a spectacle unto the world. All right. And to angels and to men. And that's the point. The apostles were made a spectacle. And in this regeneration, when the prophesying and that is going on to bring about the end, because it says, then shall the end come. It should be the preaching shall go out to the uttermost parts of the world or the earth. Then shall the end come. OK. All right. And those men. All right. Who we're being set in order in front of the enemy's eyes, complaining and being a witness. All right. We are being made a spectacle unto the world. All right. And to angels and to men. All right. For we are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but ye are wise in Hamashiach. Right. So the men of the Lord, what the world is going to be looking at them as despised, foolish men. Right. Unlearned men. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised, right? And nobody want to deal with the truth of the matter. A prophet or a man of the Lord is not in today what they would call respectable men. All right. Just like in the past, they hated the prophets. They didn't want to deal with the prophets. It's the same thing today. All right. OK. So I read that Isaiah 32, I believe. All right, let's read it again. Isaiah 32 and 3. Oh, no, I haven't. I have it. So Salakia. All right, Isaiah 32:3. Okay, it says, "In the eyes of them that see shall not." Let me see here. The glorious future, Isaiah 32:1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as a hiding place of men of the Lord. All right, from the wind, because the day of the Lord is coming. All right, and the Lord is holding back the winds. Okay, of destruction. Okay, the ultimate wind of destruction is the thermonuclear fire, but there's other winds. The Lord said He's going to send fanners to Babylon to fan her, right? To it says, "What will I if it already be kindled?" All right, okay. And the Lord said, "What the earth basically is on fire, and what will I if it already be kindled?" So the fires are growing. The fire rises, as my man Bane said in the Batman movie. All right, it says, "And a man shall be in hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land." Right, and that's what the prophets are gonna, or the men of the Lord, the prophets, the teachers. All right, the miracle workers, the healers. All right, because look, we're diverse. We're a diverse group of men. The house of David. Okay, we're gonna be a stand or protection for those that believe. Watch and wait and see. Then shall they know who are my chosen. That's second Ezra 16. Or I think about around the 73rd verse, maybe. All right, but if you read from the 68th verse on down, it'll go into it. You'll find it. It says, "And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken." Okay, and so those are the men. All right, from the least, the Lord is able to, by His Spirit, able to raise us up. Okay, in the script, there's other scriptures that go into that. You know, all right, us being the Lord giving us comprehension. All right, I forget exactly what precept that is. You know, maybe if a brother know, if you watch this video, you can post it. But I forget what precept, and I might ask the bros after this anyway. All right, where a precept dealing with the Lord essentially giving us comprehension. I'm not saying it word for word, of course, but the Lord giving us the Spirit. All right, His Spirit. All right, and basically we're able to comprehend. We're able to understand doctrine. All right, okay, and that's what this wisdom allows for us to do. All right, because we were nothing in this world. We had no understanding, but we have the real understanding, the real wisdom. Okay, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Heart also of the lad shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. You see that? Okay. It says in the NLT, even the hothead will be full of sense, understanding. Those who stammer will speak out plainly. And the Lord has done for us. Okay? He's done for us. Right? Here, let me see something. Salaki. I'm gonna say I could have sworn I had a. Oh well. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much it, you know. But yeah, you know. Lord willing, it was edifying. Until next time, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shemel, Shai, Bashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, Zachary Millstone. Shalom to you, Aki, and pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, Ahabathum, Aywa Barakathum, Shalom. Or Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Shamar, Al, all right, a thumb, all right, Shalom.